Morning. Welcome back to Crypto Vegan. I'm vegan. We all should be vegan. So how are we looking today? $80 billion volume. Market cap is 1.68 trillion. We are heading up there. I mean, when we're 1 trillion, the goal is to be at 10 trillion by the end of this bull market. That is the average that you're hearing out there. I think that's going to be a pretty tough hill to climb. 10 trillion, you would need nothing but 8 trillion more in institutional money coming our way to get us to the 10 trillion mark. One thing I wanted to discuss, yesterday, we had a complete squeeze, and they got us to, to the 41 range. Will we have a squeeze pushing us up to the 45K range, then to 50? There's not going to be a ton of resistance between 45 and 47, so we could shoot up pretty quick. But right now, the whales are buying. They are trying to get as much as they can before the news of the ETF in 2 weeks. What are you guys' thoughts on that? What are is this hyped up? Is this too embedded into the market? If we get this pushed off until March, April, how far are we going to hit? Right? I think it's going to be pretty significant. We will pop up from that. We've been denied every time, but it will be a pretty good flash crash, which in turn will allow BlackRock, Grayscale to accumulate more. ARK Investment, our boy Michael Saylor. So what are you guys' goals for this bull run? What are you looking? Are you looking to buy a house, a car, or retire from a day-to-day job after this? Because those are all different goals to have, and they will take different measures to get there. Want to buy a car? Need as much capital to be able to, right? I mean, I would assume many of you have already gotten close to that. If you've been in the market long enough, this is going to be your first bull cycle. I recommend watching as many videos as you can. I'm just starting this, so I'm just doing this because why not? I want to kind of talk about what I've learned over the years and more on the vegan side, to be honest with you. But I want to discuss crypto because we're in the heat of that right now, and it's just warming up really. But what are your goals? You have to think of Bitcoin, and I will keep stressing this: it will not get you rich. If you're already wealthy and you want to accumulate Bitcoin, that is perfect. It's better than having it in your bank, though you should have some in your bank as well. We're all anti-bank, but that is it's a necessary evil. It's just something you have to work within those minds. Those means that you have to on-ramp, you have to off-ramp, right? And so many people are against Coinbase. Well, one of the easiest ways to work within the fiat system on your, you're not spending your crypto. Everyone, all these nations buying, getting into BTC and thinking that people are going to spend their Bitcoin as cash is ridiculous. Now, other coins like AMP or I know Cardano has that in mind. That's when you have 35, 40, $50 billion tokens, circulating supply, but 22 million, 21 million. And the value keeps going up, and eventually it'll be a couple $100,000. I mean, after the volatility will eventually lighten, and you're not going to have it as much. It's just not going to happen once the institutions are completely involved. But that's not going to happen this run. I mean, we're still going to have our cycle. We're still going to have bear run, bear market, it's going to happen. It's going to happen in every market. So that's more of a macro type of consequence, right? I mean, the world's doing good, and then something, terrorist attack, or Ukraine invasion, Palestinian conflict, with Israel in the Middle East, all this stuff makes things unstable, and it gets people nervous. And where does that hit? That hits the stock market. That hits the crypto market. We have not decoupled from the financial market. It has not happened. It's supposed to. That's the intention. Not happening. It's not going to happen. People get nervous. They get nervous. They get out of tech. They get into bonds. They get into cash. They want to be a little more stable. So I think it's very important to have a Bitcoin if you can, just to have it, even a half, a quarter of one, just to have it. It is always going to appreciate in the long run. If you can afford to, $5 a day, $10 a day, $50 a month, and the best is to do it every day for your DCA. But it's not the most important thing. There's other ones to do there. Solana, Ethereum, I think will be good. Excuse the background noise. Got some working out going on in the house. But I wanted to make this short video before I go for a run and work out. As I said, BTC is a great value. It's a great asset value, but it will not make you rich. If you're rich, it is a great place to put your money. If you're not rich, get some, right? I don't plan on, I have one. I don't plan on having more. That is not my goal. And there's too many better assets that will get you to where you need to be if your goal is to be done after this bull market, right? But don't get caught. Take your profits. Stick to your guns. As I said yesterday, know you're out before you get in. Okay? I was a stock trader for quite a long time, and I did very well. And when I was 29, I got into the tech sector. I was in the value sector and other things, and finally I would watch these stocks come out. It was back when Priceline.com, you probably never heard of it, came out, and it was supposed to be out at $4. The IPO was at $87. Right? It was just crazy. And then I won't get into all that, why we had the crash then, but it was a technology crash. Really, the catalyst was Microsoft was being sued by Netscape. Probably no one's ever heard of that, but it was a competing internet browser, and they were suing Microsoft for monopolizing this space. And that is when the market crashed, and it took all the tech with it. It took many things with it, but it took the tech with it. Talking everything from Dell computers, at $89 down to $30. Apple, I owned Apple in 1997 at $7. I traded options on it continuously. Didn't keep it. Stupid move. But we all live and learn, right? Look at Optimism. Optimism's over $4. And I was stupid enough not to listen to everyone's tokenomics thought on that, saying, "Oh, the tokenomics, the release of the tokens over the next year is going to be horrible." Well, it kept trading in the $1.10 to $1.40 continuously. Why wouldn't you just? Now it made its move. It does not matter about the tokenomics in a bear run. When people want it, it's going to go up. Period. It is going to go up, and nothing will stop it. Right? It doesn't matter if it has 30 billion or 3 billion. It'll go up hard, and it'll come down even harder. Right? When your token supply is smaller, it does go up faster, and it does come down way faster. You can look at them go up 100% and come down 60% within 8 hours, right after people are taking their profits. One thing I did want to touch on is many people who do crypto for a living on YouTube and other social media. They constantly are against the stock market, right? Because of your 5 to 10 to 12% you get a year. if you're lucky, or maybe more, versus you get that in an hour in crypto. Sometimes if you pick the right one, it's 100%, right? Well, if you work for a company and they're offering a 401k, people are against that too. It's not the greatest thing you can do, but if you work for a company and you can afford to put max out 401k and you're going to be there for a long time and you'll get the company match, do it. Do it. I do 30k a year and I get 10k from them. Why wouldn't you take the extra $10,000? You can always cash it out for a penalty if you need to before you're, at withdrawal age. But why wouldn't you take the free money? Now, if you want to be all in on crypto, that's fine. But if you work for a company and you're making enough money where you can put it aside, I believe it's below 50 years old, it's around 22,500, and above it's 30,000 max you can put in a year. Take advantage of it. It is free money, and you want to be diversified. Can they fully shut down crypto? No. Can they make it difficult to on and off ramp? Yeah. The banks will listen to what the government wants them to do, and vice versa. The government listens to the banks, right? So they can make it very difficult to on ramp and off ramp. I mean, you live in New York, you know that all too well, right? So take advantage of what your company is offering, right? You don't have to max it out if you can't afford it. As you get older, I believe you should, but it is accumulation over a lifetime, where you're going to get a couple $1 million for retirement there. You may get that in a year with crypto in a bull run or more. What are your goals? How much money, how much dry powder do you have? Another thing to stress too is do not get too excited and spend all your dry powder. You've got to always have some on the side throughout the whole bull run. Now you can sell, and you can buy and sell off and take your profits and put it in something else. But always when you take your profits, always take money out, your principal, and also take out money for taxes, because you could make 10 grand on something, or 100 grand, or 200 grand, or 1 grand, and throw that right into another crypto. Do not do that. Do not throw it into another project. Make 10 grand on something, take out 30%. Minimum. Put it aside, untouchable, for taxes. Take more of that for profit. And I recommend taking out 50% of it. If that goes aside, that is not touched to the end of the year to see where it goes. You don't know what you have to offset things. You have to have money. Do not get caught. Do not get caught without, at the end of the year not being able to pay for your profits, because all of a sudden you got locked into something else and now it's down. Yeah, you could sell that to offset, but you don't want to do that, right? So take the money out to cover yourself for taxes. Another thing is, with all people you can listen to on YouTube and X and everywhere else, all of the YouTubers, some of them give incredible information, right? But you got to do your own research. Do not rely on someone. I did back in early days, listen to something, didn't look into it deep enough, and ended up hurting myself. Always, you can hear a coin, hear a project, then do your own research. There's plenty of avenues, and there's plenty of YouTubers on there that can give you more information about it. They're all going to have different opinions, right? These guys like quant. These guys hate quant, right? George from Cryptos R Us hates quant. Well, look at it now, right? And then you have Discover Crypto and other channels who absolutely love it. They like the business B2B play and the token supply, and it's going to do great. We have a ton of it, and I believe it'll be 500, 600, 700 at the top of the bull run, and I will get rid of every drop of it. Do not try to pick the top, and you can't pick the bottom. Know you're out, get out when you say you're going to. Really what it boils down to is everyone's guessing. You can do all the research you want, and these are the professionals too on Squawk Box, or these economists in the stock market. They're all guessing too. No one knows if they, there's manipulation that can happen with your banks and your whales. They can manipulate, but they can't. completely run the market. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. That's for Nancy Pelosi and her team to be able to do. A couple ones that I'm still, keep an eye on is I'm looking to get actually more AIOZ. I've been mentioning that it's sitting at 13 cents right now, and it's in that range, 12, 13 right now. It's going to pop to 20 cents when we start heading that trajectory up again. With Bitcoin, Bitcoin's going to lead it. You have a ton of alts leading it now. Jumping on and making their move. Right, Avalanche, I believe, will be next. Sol came down a little bit, and Solana was, looks to be a good buy right now. Me personally, I won't buy anymore unless it hits under $100. But I'm long at $70, and I don't want to mess with my average. I have enough of it where I want to be able to have dry powder for other projects. Arbitron, with that, OP kind of took all of the juice from ARB, but ARB is making a move now, and it's getting out of its range. It's like, last I saw was like $1.40. Let's take a look. Yep. Optimism, $4.04. That is just climbing up. Mutable too. Mutable X cannot. It's unbelievable. Looking at it, 90 cents a few weeks ago, and that is Dow came back a little bit from $90 at 80. Too late for me to get in that. AIOZ, there it is. 1.1 billion circulating supply for almost 2 million in volume today. Not a lot of volume. Anyways, so I want to discuss real quick in regards to health. After I'm sure some of you are struggling with that or want to go to the next level of health. I'm in my 50s, and before I went vegan, I worked out every day. I consider myself in good health, yet I drank on the weekends. I ate flesh a couple times a day. Didn't have a ton of dairy, but I had a ton of cheese. So that's, I'm going to say a ton of dairy. I didn't drink milk. That was disgusting. I never understood, nursing and breastfeeding from another species. It's supposed to be go from a couple 100 pounds to 1,000 pounds in a year. Right? Why would you drink something from mammary gland, another species? It makes no sense, And I mentioned the other day all the stuff that's in the milk, which I didn't know at the time. But I just want to touch on health aspects. If you're looking to change your life, the easiest way is to eliminate first dairy. You will see it instantly. I'm able to run 4 to 6 miles every day without taking a break. I have no recovery time. I don't. Last year I ran it every single day except for 3 days, 6 miles a day. That was my average. Some days I did 4, some days I did 7, 6 miles a day. And what would happen is, it hit the 6 mile mark and I could keep going, but my knees are saying, you're 50, your knees, doesn't matter how good you are, it takes 6 miles is pushing it. It's just, I wanted to keep going. You just feel the energy, as soon as I eliminated animal products, acid reflux that I had my whole life, gone immediately. One day, completely gone. I used to wake up every night with acid in my throat. Now, the only time I would get acid reflux after going vegan and eating correctly, not just junk food vegan, because you can do that, and I'm doing it right now, to be honest with you. It's the holidays, I'm eating, you name it. Vegan wise, it's, last night I had tacos with Impossible and all that stuff, and, it's tasted great, but, you feel a little off when you have it, when you're used to eating pretty clean. But you will notice your sleep is just completely improved. But when I would drink, I would get acid reflux, and so I eliminated that. It'll be a year in January. I had one I had a little wine in March and haven't touched a sip since then. I was not a drinker during the week, but on the weekends, like your typical average person, come Friday night, I'll relax, things of wine or whiskey or, on Saturday. And then all of a sudden it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? And then I would just get horrible acid reflux. And I'll go into that some other time, the issues that I had and you will have if you keep consuming alcohol and if you have acid reflux, the damage that could cause. I was able to cure that on my own, and I'll go into that. I got esophagitis back in March, cured it on my own, and I can go into that some other time. It's more of a longer story, but I've helped quite a few people in regards to that. Helped quite a few people in regards to reversing heart disease, obesity, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, all of that can be stopped, reversed if you're strict, and it's just a no-brainer why we are not designed. At one point, we had to eat flesh, right? And did our brains evolve and grow because of that? Science is always changing. Maybe if you look at the fecal matter of mummies and stuff they found, it was nothing but grains and fruits and veggies that they found in that. But that's for another story. There were times when we needed to, but we don't now. And I'm living proof of that. I started my journey when I was 19, and on the animal rights front after seeing something pretty brutal. And like I said, I was just at this 2 slaughterhouses over the last 2 months, and I'll go into those details at some other point. I wanted to focus just a couple things on health. I would really look, if you're struggling with acid reflux and you're just not feeling well, look at your drinking. There's so many great videos out there to help explain more of how we've been deceived in regards to drinking. Look at Sober Leon on YouTube. Unbelievable. McLean Fitness, she is just starting her journey. It's only been about 120 days. She drank like me, maybe more than me, but the weekends, or I think she drank wine every day, so she was pushing, but she, never considered herself an alcoholic, not necessarily an alcoholic, and it's been ingrained with you since you were 16, 15, and there's commercials everywhere, people drinking scotch. It's so normalized that you just think, and so is food, right? You don't see commercials about broccoli, cauliflower, walking down the street, dancing down the street, broccoli, holding hands with cauliflower. No, you see people eating steak and beef, pigs, baby pigs. They're all babies. The pig slaughterhouse that I go to, so many of them, and I go in there. I'm on the kill floor. They're 5, 6 months old. They're babies. They're genetically modified to get obese, and they are not treated well on the farm. And boy, are they brutalized in this slaughterhouse, right? What do you think happens to them? Tushy slaps and kisses, and then no. They don't want to get off the truck. And they take an electric rod, they poke that thing, poke it in the eye, it doesn't matter. And then they're gassed to death. They're in a gas chamber. It takes them a good minute, suffering and burning inside, screaming, gnawing, biting their feet off. And then they slit their throat. And then they become a pork tenderloin or a ham for your Thanksgiving or your Christmas dinner. It's flesh. And it's not even pink, just so you know. They inject, it's gray. Flesh is gray. They inject chemicals, nitrates, to turn it pink for the prettiness, right? It's gray. And there's blood and there's fecal matter all over that slaughterhouse. It's something to see, let me tell you. And they're babies, they scream and they fight it, man. I've seen mom cows go in with their baby cows, and they're screaming and fighting and trying to get out. And it's screaming is horrible, but it's worse. It's the silence after, because there was a heartbeat, and now the life is gone. I there's so many health benefits to it, and I could, go into it. I would recommend looking up Dr. Brooke Goldner. Bless her heart, she can literally cure. She cured her lupus 17, 18 years ago. Lupus. She was given a death sentence at like 16, 17 years old. She's now 46. She can cure it. Dr. Brooke Goldner. Bless her heart. Her youngest son was just killed in a car accident. It's absolutely horrible. This someone who has helped her and her husband has helped thousands. Look her up. Dr. Michael Clapper, Dr. Michael Greger, Martin Mills, Dr. Martin Mills, Dr. Joel Furman. Look these people up just to give you an idea. I also recommend watching the movie Dominion. When I started animal rights, I'm now an animal liberator. I fight to actually get them liberated. Back then, I'll go into that story later on some other time, but I started with a guy in Michigan. His name was Gary Urosky. Didn't know him, but I would always hear about him in the group I was in. I was in a group called SHARC, Chicago Animal Rights Coalition, at the time. It's called something different now. And I heard about this guy getting arrested, freeing minks up in Canada. He went to jail for it. Watch his speech, Gary Urosky, the best speech you'll ever hear. There's many of them out there. Watch the one that is an hour. It'll change your life. Key is once the lights are turned on, there's no turning them off again, right? A lot of people become vegan, and then they don't. They say, they're fog-headed. They crave meat. Well, we all crave it. Yeah, we quit. All crave it. If you need to do it, it's a microbiome. You need to do it slowly. Do it slowly. I'm a big boy. I don't believe in baby steps. Completely done when I did it, right? When I finally knew about everything. And I used to be an animal rights activist, and I would get in fights with hunters, debates and fights while I'm eating steak burrito or pork tenderloin. Not a clue of what, this is decades ago. Not a clue of how hypocritical I was. Literally getting into outright fights with people who were hunting and loved when they would meet their demise, hunting or whatever, and yet I was being a hypocrite. And while I'm talking to them and bitching at them, eating a steak, just cognitive dissonance, moral schizophrenia, right? We love our dogs, we love our cats, but in other countries they eat them. They are not treated well. Go look up the Yunnan Festival in China. Okay, these poor dogs are beaten and cooked alive, right? In oil, hot oil, cooked alive. Your golden retriever. There's plenty of golden retrievers and Rottweilers. You name the dogs, they're all getting eaten alive there, right? They're cooked alive, skinned alive. It's something horrendous. Your cats, they love cat, and what's the difference between that and a pig? A pig is smarter than a dog. I have two domestic companions, red heeler and a brown lab and a chocolate lab. And what's the difference between that and a cow? There isn't. Or sheep, a lamb, a baby lamb. There, people are eating leg of lamb. It is a baby, a couple months old. Look how cute they are, and then tell me that you really want to slit its throat and eat the flesh. It's flesh. The greatest thing is I go to sleep every night with a clear conscience. I sleep great, sleep incredible. Right? I've never slept better for the years I've been vegan, years and years. But my conscience is clear. I don't go around lecturing people. Early when the light comes on, you become angry when you realize it's all surrounding you and everything. Right? You're angry for a long time, a year and a half. That goes away, and you have to go through the anger. You should be angry. You're angry at yourself, and then you see it around. You walk into a grocery store and you actually smell the flesh. You go into the flesh department, you smell it, and you just see it's blood in the containers, in the chicken legs, or the steak. All that red, it's the blood from the flesh that was once a breathing sentient, wanting to live animal. Now you're eating it. Are you eating it raw? Are you a moron like the Liver King, or the joke that guy is on steroids? No, you're cooking it, because if you don't cook it, you're gonna freaking die. You get a parasite, you'll be crapping your brains out and throwing up, and get treated, you will go. So, hey, please message me if you want any info. I'll start going into depth a little more. I'm just doing this to have time, and I want to be able to help people get financial independence like I have. And I want to, I've made a ton of mistakes in investing. I'm telling you, from the time I was 21. Okay, that's when I started. I'm 51. It started when I was 21. I was the guys in the pits talking like this. Ever made $6 million, all gone by the time I was 29. In regards to bad investing, like great investing, but not profit taking, not reading the market and learning hard lessons, greatest lessons I could have when, like, say, go back and get that money, and it's all right, made it back, and I'll make it. This bull run is going to be unreal. But you do what you have to do. Going off the veganism back into this, do what you have to do to get dry powder. If you don't have it, go Uber on your part time. Go do Uber Eats. Whatever the other ones are. I did that years ago. Just didn't need to, but wanted to. Why not have $700, $700? Just don't even think about it and invest it. You will, if you follow the right steps, educate yourself, and don't listen to what I'm saying. Do your own investigating, but use the good YouTubers out there. And like I said the other day, you know who they are. The ones that are toxic, stay away from them. Go. Make your own decisions. Okay? I'm going for a run. You guys take care. And there's not a lot of you watching this, but that's okay. Eventually there will be. I'm not doing it for me. I want to see who I can help. That's my goal in life. Help my family, help the rest of the world. I want to turn on lights one at a time, and that is my goal. Peace. Take care.